Are you struggling with synthetic division? Do you feel your stress levels are going through the roof as a result of synthetic division? Well, guess what? I have the solution for you. Simply watch this video and all issues will resolve themselves. Let's take a look at this example. We got 3x cubed plus 2x minus 5, which is being divided now by x minus 1. So the first step is I'm going to focus on my numerator, or aka the dividend. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate the highest power of x and I'm going to add 1 to it. And what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to allow me to identify the number of columns here I'm going to have on the inside of my synthetic division table. Then what I'm going to do is remember that this represents the coefficient. What's going to go in this box will represent the coefficient of the x cubed term. This will be the x squared term. That's the x term, and that's the constant. So just simply look back. The coefficient of that x cubed is going to be a 3. The coefficient of x squared, we don't have it. So guess what you do? 0. That's it. Coefficient of the x term is going to be a positive 2. Constant term is going to be a negative 5. And that takes care of that. Now you're done with the dividend. Now you got to focus on the denominator, or aka the divisor. You're going to set this divisor equal to 0. Then you're going to add 1 to both sides, solve this for x, and the reason why you're going to do that is because that's going to tell you the number that's going to go here on the outside of your synthetic division table. Now simply take your first coefficient in the table, drop it straight down. There's a red box here because nothing's going to go in it. Take that value at the bottom 3, multiply it by the value on the outside of the table, which is 1. Put the result in this next adjacent cell. Then simply add this column together for a total of 3. Then take this value, multiply it by the outside value for a total of 3 again, and add these contents in that column. So that's going to be a total of 5. Then take 5, multiply it by that outside value, and that's going to be a positive 5. Add these contents together in this column, and it's a 0. Cool. Now, keep in mind what these values represent. This will represent the remainder. This will represent the constant. This will represent the x term. This will represent the x squared term, and ... Whatever the pattern were to continue on out to be. First is always going to be the remainder, by the way. Now, what you got to do before you kind of write out your quotient here is you want to look back at your divisor. You want to locate the coefficient of the x term in your divisor. And what you want to do is you want to divide then each of these terms except for the remainder. Don't do it to the remainder. Not to the remainder. All right? You got to divide each of those values by that coefficient. Now, obviously, dividing by 1 doesn't do anything. So in this problem, you can kind of skip that step. But I don't really want you to skip it because I want you to think about it in case the problem changes. So now, being that it's a 1, we can kind of just move forward. And let's write out now our quotient. So we have here 3x cubed, squared. Whoop, almost made a mistake on that one. Oh boy. Well, everybody's human. So 3x squared, then plus 3x, plus 5, not plus 5c, okay, just plus 5. And then plus now, your remainder. Now I know I have no remainder, but I'm going to just write it out anyway for you. You would write the remainder value up there, and then your divisor at the bottom. Then you would simplify this however you can, and you know that, dividing anything into 0 is going to be 0, so you can kind of get rid of that term. And this is then what you're left with, and that's the final answer. That's your quotient. So when you take your dividend and you divide it by your divisor, you get your quotient. Cool. Thanks so very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If this helped you out at all, if you don't mind, like, subscribe, tell some of your classmates about us, or your friends, or your parents, or your aunts and uncles, the mailman, the UPS driver. It doesn't matter. Help us spread the word. We really appreciate it. By the way, we have thousands of videos out there. Physics, mathematics, chemistry, and we got a lot more coming. Hot more coming out there for you. We solve specific problems. So we really try to help you out on your test because you're going to see specific problems on your test, right? So I think it'd be a great resource for you to check out. Take care.